Hey everybody, Poppin' Fresh here with a VBL-S Season 4 draft review. This one will not be as long as my other draft reviews because I did not have as solid of a plan going in. So, full disclosure, I wasn't even sure if I was going to be participating in this season. I'm doing the VBL-N, which is a lot of fun, and I've just been really busy at work, so I haven't had as much time to do any kind of draft stuff. So, if I lose games, that's my excuse. So I've just been really busy and wasn't entirely sure if I was going to make this season, but the other league that I was considering rejoining, the Almost Any Ability League, has kind of disappeared from the face of the earth. There's been maybe one message sent in the Discord since the season ended, so figured if that's not going to happen, why not? Stick with the classics. No, go with what you love. So I'm back for Season 4 of the VBL-S, and this season it's the same format as we've done for the last two seasons, and I wanted to spice it up because the last two seasons I've gone in with a draft plan, a big plan, a plan of various sizes. So it's been pledge moves, which sucked. It's been roll compression, which sucked. So I'm just gonna have fun. I'm having fun with it this season. I'm not gonna be tryharding as much as I would in the other leagues that I've been in. So let's just get into it. So. As you might guess with the background music, I'll give you a second to listen to it. Take it in. It's a bit of a nostalgic classic from Ruby and Sapphire. And if you know anything about what this music, when this music plays, it's for a very special set of 3 Pokemon that grew to 4, that's grown to 6. So, with that not so subtle hint, and those of you watching this already know what I fucking picked, so why am I playing coy with it? Good question, I don't know. This draft I wanted to go with a theme, and kind of do, not so much of a meme, this is maybe less of a meme draft than the other weird drafts that went on. Daddy's bug draft, Ben's random draft, and I would count Steve draft as a meme draft, but it's also good because it's Steve, so. Mine is definitely a meme draft, but has a serious aspect to it. Let me mute my phone. So, what is it? My first pick, we'll just go off down the line. I picked, everyone knows him, you love him, it's Reggie Lucky. So, why did I pick Reggie Lucky? Well, I guess before I start, I have my little list of moves that I typically deem important over here. Stats, typing, mons, all that. Don't mind the colors, I use that for another video. And remaining points, shit, I can't remember how much all these guys are. But it ends up with me having 1 point left over. So, we'll just put that there, and it'll all work out in the end. So, I picked Reggie Lucky for one reason and one reason only. It is the best Reggie, and therefore the most likely to go first. And my strategy was to pick every single Reggie and just go with it from there. So, my first 6 picks were all just each of the 6 Reggies in points order from highest to lowest, figuring that Reggie Lucky would be the most likely mon to get picked out of them. So, Reggie Lucky only really offers 3 things. Screens, strong electric moves, and just being the fastest Pokemon in the game. So, yeah, I picked Reggie Lucky. I'm super excited to use it. It's stupidly fast, almost never have to invest in speed. It can outspeed even choice Scarfers. And its 100 offenses actually get to be pretty nice with its Transistor ability, giving it double stab on electric moves. Obviously, ground types give it a really, really hard time, but maybe there's other Reggies that can take care of ground types. So, I was almost wheel. I was pick number 2, so I had to wait a whole bunch, come down, and then come back to me. So when it came back to me, I had to grab the next 2 off the list: Regi Gigas, and an old friend, Reggie Rock. So, these 2 give me a lot more bulk, a lot more power, because I mean, Reggie Lucky is essentially, it is what it is, it's a fucking light bulb, it dies in one hit, it just it fizzles out. But these 2, these are OG Reggies, these are bulky Reggies. Regi Gigas, 110, 110, 110 defenses. I honestly don't think there's anything better than that in this format. Reggie Rock has 80, 210, or not 10, 100. Very bulky. I've used Reggie Rock before to great success. It was a lot of fun last season, and it's the 3rd most expensive Reggie, so might as well pick a 3rd. So, Regigigas is a obvious candidate. It's definitely a mon up my alley. I've used Porygon Z for 2 seasons now, clicking Max Strike and destroying things, and that's essentially what Regigigas does. It's faster, it's bulkier. Obviously, it has a horrible, neutering, crippling ability, but there's ways to get around that we'll go over later. And Regirock is just a classic Trick Room attacker. Bulky, can use Body Press, Iron Defense, all that fun stuff. So, when it came back to me for my next 2 picks, I picked Reggie Drago and Reggie Ice. And you may notice here that I picked Reggie Ice and Reggie Drago before Registeel, who is better than them. Because somebody fucking took Registeel right before it was coming to me. I think it was Sam, and then it got traded to Cheryl, or it was the other way around. But those fuckers conspired, I believe, to take Registeel from me. I'm not butthurt about it. It's a draft. You have to do what you have to do. Registeel is a great mon. I'm sure they'll make great use of it, whichever one of them ended up with it. I'm just slightly salty about it. But yeah, Reggie Ice and Reggie Drago are also no slouch themselves. I've also used Reggie Drago before in like the last week of Season 2. It's super powerful with its Dragon Energy attack and also getting double stab on Dragon moves. Again, the 2 Regis that have the double stab also have types that are immune to it, which kind of sucks. But Reggie Drago is... ideally, I would have something that could cover a fairy type, like, I don't know, maybe a Registeel, but we'll have to make do without that. And Regice is really nice. It's actually, honestly, it's something I would look at drafting even if I wasn't doing this Regi draft, because I think it was 9 points, which is pretty good for something like that. Clear body, and it's incredibly bulky on the special side, and in a Dynamax format, it can make do on the physical side. 80-100 is honestly pretty decent, and obviously on the special side, it's never going down. So it's a great Dynamax option, is just like Regirock is. I essentially have 3 max options each week: Regirock, Regigigas, and Reggie Ice. All 3 of them do vastly different things and need vastly different support pieces, so it might actually be kind of difficult to prep against all 3 of them. With the other 2 Regis, Aleki and Drago, the new Regis, the updated Gen 8 Regis, actually being able to provide some kind of support. I didn't even know Drago got Reflected Light Screen, which is pretty neat. But obviously, you just want to be clicking Dragon Energies and doing lots of non-Dynamax things with these 2. So it pairs well with these 3 that would like to Dynamax. So from here, I was freed up 1 slot earlier than I thought I would be to start picking my support pieces. I have 7 to go in this league. This is a... wait, no. I had 6 to go. I can do math. This league has 11 choices as opposed to 12. So... in terms of support pieces, seeing as what I have here, the biggest, like, flashing lights, like, please pick this to make my team work, I needed to get a mon that can use neutralizing gas. So that is something in the Coughing Wheezing family. And I ended up picking Wheezing, obviously, but I went with the fancy Wheezing for the single reason that it learns Aromatherapy. Regular Wheezing does not learn Aromatherapy. And given the fact that I have Neutralizing Gas, Regigigas will be immune to Intimidates and anything like that, but it's not going to be immune to Burns, so that's a pretty good way of crippling it. And if I'm running it with Regigigas, I can't use Misty Surge to protect it from Burns, so I might as well use Aromatherapy to kind of pseudo have both abilities at once. So Galarian Wheezing is obviously essentially here for one thing and one thing only, to pair with Regigigas, turn off Slow Start, make it an absolute monster, and essentially turn it into a restricted mon. But at the only downside of having a slightly less than optimal Pokemon on your side of the field, that doesn't have an ability to support it otherwise. It's very good though. Outside of that, I can use Misty Surge, which is also another reason why I wanted to pick it. Regular Wheezing has Stench as its other ability, which is, I don't think it does anything. I think they updated it might have something to do with flinching now. I don't know though, but it didn't used to do anything. So even if I don't bring Regigigas, I still could bring Galarian Wheezing for burn protection for Regirock mainly. Also, I could protect against sleep and stuff if I go up against a team with like Amoonguss, which I don't think got drafted, or Yawn, something like that. So yeah, it's pretty one-dimensional, but not as one-dimensional as it might originally seem. And it does have enough damage output to not be a total sitting duck and just protect bot. So that's Galarian Wheezing. I thought it would be a good idea to pair that with Regigigas and the rest of my team as opposed to regular Wheezing. So it also gets Haze, which is pretty cool. So yeah, between haze and aromatherapy, it actually does a great job of supporting Regigigas, even if it's even outside of just having neutralizing gas. If they charm it, get rid of that with haze. If they burn it, get rid of that with aromatherapy. All the while trying not to go down yourself. So my next pick, I think this was my next pick. I can't remember the exact order. But I thought about it, and I wanted a good Trick Room setter for my other two slow Regis, Rock and Ice. And I thought Claydol would actually fit the build pretty well. I wanted something that would set Trick Room and be able to resist fighting moves, and that also has Ally Switch, which Claydol fits all those roles right away. And I also wanted the ground type because a lot of the other Regis are incredibly weak. Well, two of them, but the two that I want to pair it with are also really weak to steel, as is Galarian Weezing, which really sucks because I would have ideally not had it. I mean, what kind of teal ends up with a net steel weakness, right? What the fuck are you doing where you build a team in that way? It's such a rare weakness, but currently as it stands, I have more of my mons than not that are weak to steel. So Claydol is there to help discourage that. It can hit them with Scorching Sands to burn them on the physical side, which would definitely help out Regice. And on the special side, I think it actually gets Eerie Impulse, which is pretty sweet, so it can help out Regirock that way as well. Come to think of it, I really like Claydol. It's obviously not as slow as you'd like for a Trick Room setter, but it gets the job done and is a good typing and kind of pairs decently well with my team, and also has Levitate. Oh yeah, that's why, because it also resists. It pairs particularly well with Regirock because it resists. Well, it doesn't resist. Why did I even mention resisting? Oh, because I'm doing this on the fly, man. If you couldn't tell, it's good against steel types because it can hit them super effectively. It's good against ground types because it floats, so it helps out Regirock quite a bit. And also gets Bulldoze and other fun stuff like that. That's why I picked Claydol. I got to it eventually. Okay, so my next pick, I don't remember if it was my next, but another pick I made was I wanted another Trick Room setter because Claydol, I don't want to rely only on Claydol. I want to have some kind of flexibility. And I want another mon that can help deal with my humongous fighting weakness. Weezing and Claydol are pretty good at taking fighting hits. And I wanted another mon to be able to do that, and I chose none other than Jellicent. I love Jellicent. Super cool. Classic from Gen 5. Also gets Will-O-Wisp, Trick Room, does not get Ally Switch, which kind of sucks. It actually gets Icy Wind, I didn't see that. And it also gets Taunt, which I also didn't know. This is the first time I'm actually putting this team into this thing, so I might be discovering new synergies right alongside you guys, so good to see. Jellicent's great. It helps out Regirock and Claydol if I wanted to go a full Trick Room mode with Water Absorb. That's essentially the only ability you're going to run on Jellicent. It's another super bulky special mon. Obviously nothing's as especially bulky as Regice is, but Regice has a dog shit type, so Jellicent might effectively be bulkier than that. That's pretty much what it does for the team. Not really much more to say about it. It's decently offensive. 85 isn't really anything to scoff at. I mean, that's what Weezing's going to be fighting with, but it gets better moves than that. It can Water Spout if it wants to. Just a lot of fun stuff that Jellicent can do, and I like how it looks. The male and the female both look pretty cute. Up next, I'm getting down towards the end of the draft. I have 3 picks left, and I was thinking about it, and I realized if I have Weezing, I might as well get other mons that synergize with neutralizing gas just for the hell of it. So I picked 2 mons that do just that. Archeops and what the hell is it called? Golisopod. So these are both absolute physical monsters. 125 and 140 are absolutely insane attacking stats. Golisopod is super bulky on the physical side as well, and special side. A perfect Assault Vest candidate, especially given the fact that it gets Leech Life. Archeops is super fast, gives me a Tailwind option, which is super cool. And honestly, one of the real reasons I got Archeops is for the fast Bulldoze to help out Regirock. So kind of like Rock Guru, maybe Rockeops is the new way to go, but they're both rock types, so a Surf or a Water Spout would just instantly KO half my team there. So maybe not the smartest thing to do, but I really like Archeops. It's super powerful, a great max candidate. Because I mean, honestly, I don't even need to Bulldoze. I can just Dynamax and throw out a max Airstream and boost up whoever the partner is. So Archeops Regidrago looks particularly sweet. Getting a fast boost on my Drago and then getting Choice Specs Dragon Energy to just wipe everything else out. That sounds pretty fun to me. So I like Archeops. I've always been a fan of it. It's definitely my preferred fossil from Gen 5. Way cooler than Caracosta. And I mean, hey, Braff went 8-0 with it last season, so it's got to be good, right? And like I said, Glyzopod is just a big tank. Emergency Exit usually sucks. It can be situationally useful, but it's definitely I would view it as a negative more so than a positive, so might as well turn that off with neutralizing gas. But even if I don't run it with Wheezing, First Impression is pretty sweet. It gets Struggle Bug, which is just a better Snarl. Gets all sorts of priority moves, can proc weakness policies on a lot of stuff, and I think it'll be a good pick. And it was pretty cheap. It was only 5 points, so when you see 5 points, that's like Claydol territory, Glyzopod. There's a bunch of others. I mean, that's where you start seeing some NFEs kind of thing. So for only 5 points, I think Glyzopod is a pretty good pick. And then it came down to my very last pick, and I decided to go ahead and pick Unnovan Registeel. Obviously, the stats aren't quite as good. Only averages 520 as opposed to 580, so it kind of stands out amongst the other Regis. And the other two abilities aren't quite as good. Actually, Registeel's hidden abilities are dog shit anyways, so I can choose plus, minus, or clear body. So take bets now on which ability I'll be picking each week. But it is more offensive than a typical Registeel would be, with an 100 and a 90 speed tier. Obviously, defenses are nowhere near as good, but it does get a pretty sick boosting move in Shift Gear. And it also learns Trick Room. Pretty fancy there. I didn't know that. It does get ally switch, which is pretty cool, but ideally it would be the one being switched so I could get the Shift Gear boost. Obviously, I just picked Kling Klang because it was it was a mock Registeel, a single steel type with clear body. I mean, that sounds like Registeel to me. I can't tell the difference. So, yeah, that's the draft. I do have a change in the works. I'm still running through my brain to see if I actually want to do it. Odds are I probably will do it. So, these two, I'll just give a hint. Jellicent and Kling Klang may not be long for this world. There might be a certain other steel type that kind of does the Registeel job a bit better and can set Trick Room for me. And, might also not add to my fighting weakness, so take your bets as to what that mon is. Braff and Cheryl both called it out as probably being a better choice for this team than Claydol is, so we will see. Yeah, so that's the team. Overall, it actually has really high stats, 552. I mean, that's what happens when you pick 5 legendary Pokemon and then overstated mons that have dog shit abilities, so yeah, I actually like how it turned out. I think for picking 5 of the 6 Regis, it's not as shitty as I thought it would be. So, you know, I mean, obviously it's hugely lacking in any support options. I don't have any fake out. I don't have any fake out protection. Nothing to put things to sleep. Aromatherapy is actually pretty cool. Haze, you know, it's actually not as bad as I thought. I really don't think it's that bad. Like, maybe I'll get 1 win. But I have a fast Tailwind user, fast Bulldoze, Trick Room stuff, lots and lots of good choices for weakness policy. So honestly, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. I don't really have much else to say about it, man. So let's go through and I guess check off the boxes. Immediate, physical, and special offense. Yep. Hazard removal doesn't matter. Fire, water, grass. What's that? Fairy, dragon, steel. I don't know what that means. Just kidding. Actually, I actually have that. Sweet. What's a setup threat? I got those. Defensive walls. Oh boy, I got those. And I do have cleric support and speed tiers. Team is obviously heavy on the slow stuff, but I've got Reggie Lucky and Archeops alongside my Trick Room setters to help that out. So overall, I'd rate this a solid 4 out of 10, I'd say. If I compared my Season 1 team, I would say that was like a 7 out of 10. Season 2, a 6 out of 10. Season 3, I'd give that back to a 7 out of 10. Okay, maybe this is like a 3 out of 10 team. A solid 30%. So maybe a team that wins 1-2 games out of the season, but I am not tryharding. I am not expecting to make playoffs, and I'm just here for a good time, not a long time. So that's the team. I will see you guys in the first battle. Peace.